Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Welcome. I am so happy to have you here this evening. This is Rox-burkey, and I have with me tonight lea-ann-vandygriff. Welcome, Lea-ann.
Hello, Rox.
So we want to tell everybody on this show about you. So I really would like you to start with your history. How did you kind of start from school, college, that kind of thing?
I grew up in a small town in Oklahoma. Went to school in college and got a film degree, and which kind of sparked all of my storytelling and author screenwriting.
Sweet. So now you took that and you also married a young law student, and that kind of shaped your life and shaped where you are at today. Is that fair to say?
It is. I married a young lawyer who was really something, let me tell you, never a dull moment. Actually, he gave me a lot of input for several books down the road.
Awesome.
But I actually lost him to cancer about 3 years ago. And
I am so sorry.
Yeah, that has, thank you, that has shaped me quite a bit, for sure.
So that really was the turning point in how you decided that you wanted to write. It was like your path on the road to make a change. So how strong was that feeling that you needed to just start writing?
You know, I am very much a Christian, and I just felt like after my husband passed that God called me to write. And so I sat down and I thought, well, God wants me to write about my story because there's a lot that went through in my life with a lot of challenges. And so I just said, okay, God, and I sat down and I started to write, and I was like, this is not working. So I switched from my story to writing a fiction novel. And in a roundabout way, my book is actually a lot of my life story.
Now, we are talking about your book that was released in September of 2017, Seasons, right?
That is correct. It's Seasons, Once Upon My Innocence. It is the first in a series.
And as one of the first in a series, you're kind of laying down, a bit about the little southern town. As you said, it's more fictional, but it's based on things that you can relate to, that you believe a lot about, and your faith plays a huge role in that. But it is more of a fictional story from that regard. And you and I have talked about this before. That's more comfortable for dealing with all of the things that you've had go on in your life, right?
It is. I felt like this way it wasn't just writing about me, but it's writing about all the people around me during these different seasons of my life. My first book is basically middle school for the main character, which is based off of my own experience, which is Aubrey. Mm-hmm. And then it's really cool because it's not just one person's perspective. It's the people around her, the community, her friends, her parents, grandparents. So there's a lot going on there. And I just felt that that's what I was called to do.
So from a genre perspective, it's really for a young adult market, and it's also about facing some realities, but pulling with those around you, and leveraging your faith. So has that been something that your readers have really focused on and commented on?
Actually, yes. It's really cool because I have had readers from teens all the way to grandmothers. And it's really interesting because the book has so many things going on. I am actually getting input. It's cool because I will have someone tell me, oh, I did not see that coming, or, oh, that's interesting how the parents dealt with this, or a kid going, wow, that gave me goosebumps because it was so real to me because I've been there. So it's really not just for teens, actually. It's teens all the way up.
And so in doing that, it kind of helps people position themselves somewhere within your character universe that you have within the story. So in doing that, do you write in that manner? Because I know that there's other books in the series too. Why do you write in that manner? What's your driving goal?
It's really comfortable for me to write in the fiction manner because I am only limited really by my imagination. So I can take like part of the book is real life, part of it's fiction. That's the cool part about it. It keeps you guessing what's real, what's not. But that style to me, I did that so that every person that reads the book can relate to someone, whether it's a grandmother, a parent, or there's even some little funny, quirky things. And I also have a brother that they get, sibling rivalries and all of this type of things too. So there's a lot of things that there's bound to be somebody you can relate to. Little small-town police officer, little small-town grocery store, that type of stuff.
So in doing that and letting people relate to characters that are in the story, you're really making a difference. You're making an impact on their life, even though it's a fictional story. That's impressive. So, the seasons, Once Upon My Innocence, it is a debut book, and so how has that helped you from a writing goal and writing achievement perspective?
Well, to me, I'm really hoping that through the book, people can learn that life is a struggle, no matter what age you are, no matter what ethnicity or any of that, where you come from. When you go through life, you're going to have struggles. And it's really cool because some of the parents that read it, they can actually see what their child is feeling. They can feel it. And so it helps them understand their kids better and how to handle when something isn't going right. So my goal is hopefully to help a lot of people that someone will get something. It will cause an emotion, cause you to think harder, and help you in your faith walk.
And that is really powerful for many, many people. Now, I know that this is a series, so are you working on book number 2?
Yes, book number 2 is Seasons, Justice is Not for the Weak. There is, in my first book, there is a group that is a constant battle with the community, that are a group of boys that aren't that good. And it continues into the second book, and the community begins to fight back a little bit. But they are held accountable where they have to decide on fighting back from a Christian perspective, which is really cool because I have a minister in there that addresses that. And it's the second book is really going to be a little more, even more powerful because they are beginning to fight back.
And when do you expect that to become available for folks to take a look at?
I've got the last chapter that I'm writing, and then it goes to editing. So maybe it should be out within this next year, I would think, if not sooner. I don't think it's going to be a lot longer.
That would be awesome. So if people need to get on board before the Christmas holidays and read the first book in the series, and then be ready for the second book in the series. So before we go to our break, can you briefly tell people where they can find you on the Internet? Because I know you have a very powerful blog.
I do. I have a prayer blog where you can write in prayers, and I will pray for you. And you can also, there's a place on there as well where you can actually talk to some of the characters, and we can talk about that here in a little bit. But if you type in lea-ann-vandygriff.com, my prayer blog will come up, and then if you type in my name or my book, Seasons Once Upon My Innocence, you should see Twitter, Facebook, blog. I have all kinds of social media, and you can also find places to get the book almost anywhere around the world online.
Perfect. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to explore some of the other things you've been writing, which is so exciting, lea-ann. So hang on.
Howdy, I'm John Cruder, the Midnight Marauder. I guess you might say that I'm a vigilante who rights the wrongs I see along my many travels to balance the scales of justice, especially those of the corrupt and murderous members of the Town Council of Bandera, Texas. You can follow my many adventures in a series of Midnight Marauder books written by Roy Clinton on Amazon.com and TopWesterns.com. Or, if you prefer, listen to my adventures in audiobook form by downloading them from Audible.com or iTunes. This is R. William James, the voice of the Midnight Marauder.
Texas Authors is proud to be a supporter of IndieBeacon.com, a website that supports indie authors from around the world. If you are looking for help with marketing or getting published, IndieBeacon.com can assist you. Years of experience by the founder is available to any indie author looking for help. IndieBeacon.com, a place for creative souls to find help in marketing their creations. Headlines. Cryptocurrency vultures are circling around failing governments. Darknet predators are rushing to market with their newest digital product. They promise economic salvation, even as they coupon clips straight from your digital wallet. The newest techno-thriller installment from Brakefield and Berkey, The Enigma Source. Book 10 of the Enigma series continues the combat of cyber good guys versus cyber thugs set in today's digital landscape.
Do you love to read great new ebooks? Visit EBG247.com. Be the first to discover the next bestseller. At EBG247, we have the web's largest selection of great new book reads, from that amazing new fiction or nonfiction to horror, romance, and fantasy. We even have today's best children's books. That's EBG247.com. New books arrive daily, and all ebooks start at just 99 cents. If you love to read, then you'll love EBG247.com. Low prices, large selection, and an easy-to-use website. It's all only at EBG247.com.
A new online bookstore, IndieLector.store, is unlike any other. IndieLector.store offers great prices from top indie authors and supports authors at the same time by paying them more for their books. IndieLector.store has a readers club that gives you free books and special deals. Watch the IndieLector.store continue to grow before it opens in the fall of 2019 at IndieLector.store. Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Hey, welcome back. This is Rox-burkey, and I am so delighted to be talking this evening with lea-ann-vandygriff, author of Seasons Once Upon My Innocence, which is the first in a series, and she is working on the second, as we discovered during our first segment. So I want to take a little bit of variation, Lea-ann, if you don't mind, and talk a little bit about some of the other things that you've been writing, because that's really exciting.
It is. The last 8 months have been just crazy. What I did, my book Seasons, I am also a screenwriter, and I took the book and I made a TV series script, and I submitted it in some festivals, and it has won multiple awards. And I get to go back to California in July. It is up for a really big award. So my goal is to get it into a TV series. It is getting a lot of attention, which I'm very excited about. I've also took a portion of the book, and I wrote a feature screenplay, and it has also gotten awards, multiple awards in New York and California and around. So, yeah, I mean, it's exciting.
Well, it is exciting. So, you know, it's a talent to be able to put together a screenplay. And when you and I have spoken before, that's kind of part of your education was learning how to do the mechanics of that. And that's very different than writing a novel or writing a fictional story or even a non-fictional story. So that transition between those two types of writing, how are you liking that?
Oh, I love it. It's really funny. I have written so far 7 screenplays, all of which have had official selections or awards. So I'm really excited. I haven't got skunked on any of them yet. But they've all done really well. It's funny because I have 2 of my screenplays. Actually, I'm doing it in reverse. I'm writing the book now to go with the screenplay. One of the Christmas ones the book is at editing, and the screenplay is already getting awards. So I'm excited about that one. And then I have another screenplay that's in process of becoming a book.
Wow, that's busy. You're just very busy. So you have one very special screenplay that's getting some awards. Do you want to share with our listeners that very special one?
Yeah, I'm getting the TV series is the one that I'm going to California. And I have got a nomination. It's already won some gold awards in California. And when I go back in July, there's a chance of winning it all, which there's a possibility it might get picked up to make a series out of. And it all stems from this book.
And that's very exciting. Then there's also a small one that you've worked on with your mom in mind. She really gave you the idea for it. That's kind of cool, too.
Yes, I was so excited. My mother is, she's so precious. She's a little bitty thing. And she came in and she told me about a dream she had. And I thought, I can work with this. So I didn't tell her, and I went in and I wrote a short screenplay with it, and I sent it off to a festival, and she got a semifinalist in Rome, Italy for her story. So I was so excited about that, and it is entered in several other ones, so we'll see if it keeps going, but it just made her day.
So with doing those different kinds of things, and I know that you from a fictional novel perspective, it's more of a religious fiction, but screenplays and some of the other things that you've got kind of noodling around in the back of your head, do you have tips for authors either that are new or that that are really wanting to maybe go down that path, that you can provide them some advice?
You know, with me, I get inspired, and when I sit down to write, you don't ever want to force write. If you sit down, have an idea, and you start writing and just kind of see where it goes, that's the best way to do it. If you're having to work hard at it, you might need to just take a break and go and think it through. But most of mine, it's kind of crazy. They just flow. I actually wrote a book in a month and a half because it went fast, and then there's others that take longer. I know, it's when the spirit's moving. I could go because in the past 8 months I have written 1 screenplay and a book, and I've got 2, one almost done and another one about half. And that's just been in 8 months. So
it sounds like some of the best advice is to keep doing it. Don't, go with the flow and try.
Yeah, write about things you're going to know about. Things you're comfortable writing about. That's another thing. Because I have had so much in my lifetime that I can go from one extreme to another. But write about things you're comfortable with. That's always a plus.
So I know that you've mentioned before that you really never get writer's block, but your little trick for that is kind of cool. What do you do because you don't get writer's block?
I keep a notebook by the bed. I actually carry a notebook with me anywhere I'm at, and when an idea comes up, I jot down some notes. So that way, I have notebooks full of ideas, just screenplays and books waiting to be written. So carry a notebook. If an idea comes up, even if it sounds kind of dumb, go ahead and write it down, because you don't know what it's going to become once you sit down to start writing it.
Well, there you go. When you do sit down and write, do you have a place that you just prefer to do your writing, or can you write anywhere?
I can write almost anywhere, but my favorite place is I have some bay windows out of my office that it's just the street, and it's a lot of greenery and trees. And it's kind of funny because I have my Christian music playing in the background, and I actually have 2 birds chirping all the time I'm writing. Sweet. I know. Most people would be like, I have to have quiet. But quiet's the worst thing for me.
Well, so as an author, you get people that say nice things. You get people that say ugly things. So I'm in a happy place in my life right now. So what's the nicest compliment that you've received from a reader? I
think a lot of it is that they felt something. When I wrote it, they felt it, and they got excited, and they got inspired. Or when I love the one that said, well, I did not see that coming, because I love the fact that my writing wasn't predictable. And they were like, to me, that's a compliment to me. They're so involved, they could not predict the ending. That's what I like.
There you go. So tell me about your blog, because that's one really important aspect I want to get in before we close on this show. So tell me about the blog and the characters.
Yes. The cool thing about the blog is, I don't know if anybody's ever done this, but you can actually write, there's a spot on my blog where you can talk to Aubrey, my main character. And you can ask her questions about other characters in the book or life or whatever you like, and she will respond, which is very cool. And I also, the other part of the blog will be just things that I put in. It may be a prayer, it may be what I'm doing, whatever God inspires me to write, I'll write, which is really cool. So I am the only one that runs my blog. I am the only one that sees it. You can send in prayers to me, and I will pray for you. I am a prayer warrior, and everything is private, and it's just through me. But that's the cool thing about the blog. It's very interactive.
And what is that blog address again so people can find you?
It's lea-ann-vandygriff.com.
So hopefully everybody will jump on, and you're going to have a lot new questions out there following this show. And where can folks see you? Are you going to be in any events coming soon? I know the awards maybe.
Right now I don't have anything really scheduled. I just got back from the Texas Book Festival in Austin, but I'm taking a little break so I can get that second book done and get it to the editor. But if people want to shoot me an email, I would love to come to your church, come to your book club, and visit with you. Even if it's not about the books, if you'd like to speak about, your faith or any of that, I would love to do it. I'm in the Dallas area, so shoot me an email, and I'd love to visit with them. So. Do
you want to share that email address with the listeners?
I can. It's seasonsbookseries@gmail.com.
Okay, so the whole thing spelled out, seasonsbookseries@gmail.com. And you can ask Lea-ann and Aubrey and everyone else questions on the blog. So that's very exciting.
Absolutely.
So, as we close out the show, is there any final comments that you have, Lea-ann?
No, I just really appreciate you taking the time, and I appreciate all those who have supported me and through all of this, my family, and just all the readers and whatnot. And I'm very excited to get to know everybody. So send me an email. I'd love to chat.
Very good. So thank you again for joining me tonight, Lea-ann. And folks, it's one more time. Her debut book is Seasons, Once Upon My Innocence. That's the first book in the series, and it is available on Amazon and txauthors.com and other places as she expands her places to buy. So thank you very much, Lea-ann. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Rox. Have a great evening.
Hello, Texas authors. My name is Randy James, coming to you from my Carrollton recording studio, where I spend time writing and producing commercials for my radio endorsement clients, as well as my private freelance clients. I'd like the opportunity to help you sell more books with a commercial like this and get listeners of Dear Texas Radio excited about your title, all at a special introductory price, available to members of the Texas Association of Authors. Call or text 214-762-1942. That's 214-762-1942.
Have you ever thought what you would do if you had to put your life on hold to parent your parents? Charlotte Cannon has lived the journey caring for 3 parents with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. Her book, You Have to Laugh to Keep from Crying, How to Parent Your Parents, is a survival guide for adult children caring for aging seniors. Her book is available at books.txauthors.com, Amazon, or your favorite bookstore.
Thank you for listening to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. To learn more about Indie Beacon services, to be a guest on the show, or to advertise on our show, please visit our website at indiebeacon.com.